Every year since September 11, 2001, this nation, the United States, commemorates and remembers those people who fell at one of the most devastating moments in American history. We can all remember the watching on TV, if you can't remember, and quite a few of us probably had friends or loved ones, I know I did, who were actually directly affected by what happened with those brave passengers who were on the flight that crashed in Pennsylvania, to the people who lost their lives in DC as well as in New York City with the Twin Towers, and all the countless rescue workers who came to the aid of when they were called upon and put their lives in harm's way to rescue those people and those survivors from that devastating attack. Again, 9/11/2001 is a day most of us will remember. But how many of us remember what happened on the day before? Now you say, well, what happened the day before? I always remember 9/11 by what happened with me on 9/10, because it is a constant reminder of how your life can change in an instance. For me, on September 10th, that was the day I got my bar results. You know, I like most of you, if you're not familiar with what it takes to become an attorney, of course you're going through undergrad, you've graduated, you go to law school. Taking the bar exam is a stressful exam, and we're talking about almost 2.5 months of preparation, research, reviewing, going over tests, late hours preparing for this monstrous exam. And I can tell you, I took the exam the last Tuesday and Wednesday of July of 2001, and then on September 10th, I remember that day well, because that's when we found out that our results were going to be posted, which of course was hilarious, because one of my friends, she drove to the law school in her area so that she could check out what the results were. This is, pre-having tablets, and most of us had laptops, and we kind of went to different locations to check out things. I didn't have a laptop, and I can still remember giving my wife access to the Florida Board of Bar Examiners website so that she could find out the scores for me. And the joke that we had was that if I had passed the exam, she would tell me I needed to get her resume ready, and if I didn't pass, she would tell me I need to work a little longer. Silly as it may seem, but here's the beautiful part. The exam results were supposed to post at 11 a.m. on September 10th. So my wife, what did she do? Because let's just be clear, I was a royal jerk. I was a jackass. I'm just going to call it like it is. And so during that time period, I was not very friendly during that time period preparing for the exam. I didn't handle stress well. So my wife, she took it on the chin. So the morning she went, she did something interesting. Instead of waiting till 11, she went and checked the bar results at 8 o'clock in the morning. She went to work. First thing she did is, let me go see. Unbeknownst to me, the results were up. I had passed the exam. But I had been such a jerk, she decided to wait to tell me when I got my results. So here it is, from 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock, for about 3 hours, she knew I had passed. But she purposely let me sit over there and stew. So of course she calls me at 11 o'clock and she's like, let me go see what I can see. And she mulled it around and she was like, well, I guess you need to get my resume ready. And of course I went ballistic. And that's when she told me, oh yeah, well, I knew you passed at 8 o'clock. I was like, wait a minute, so you knew I passed the entire time and you didn't say anything? That was for you being a jerk. And all I could do was laugh, because I was like, you're right, because I straight was. And from that rest of that day, I was on cloud 9. Less than 24 hours later, while talking to a friend of mine on the phone the next morning, my wife is at work, I have TV on in the background, my friend tells me, turn to the news. And I'm like, why? I just saw something. I need to make sure it's not just me. So I turn to the news and I see flames coming out of a building. And I'm like, why is there flames? Is that in New York? And literally within a second after saying that, I see a plane slam into a building. And I'm watching this wondering, am I watching HBO? Is this Cinemax? I'm watching the Twin Towers go down in real time. And from that moment, in less than 24 hours, I went from being super excited about passing the bar and knowing that I can finally get a job to be an attorney, to being devastated because I've witnessed the most horrendous terrorist attack in modern American history. So for those of you out there, as we prepare to remember those people and the devastation that occurred and the test and resiliency of the American people in the face of this on 9/11/2001, ask yourself, What were you doing on September 10th, 2001? And appreciate the fact that life as you know it can literally change in an instant.